Hello my friends, my name is Betsy and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this pattern right here. Now this one does take a little bit more planning than some of the other patterns that I'm showing you. So let's get started. We are going to need a pencil, or at least when I draw it I like to use a pencil just to make sure that I am setting things up the way that I like. So I'm going to pick a point to start. For me, I'm going to just choose this random spot right here. I tend not to start in the center most of the time, even though in the one that I showed you, it is very close to the center. So let's start here at this point. And what I'm going to do is gently sketch a few petals in a sense. So let me show you, they're very nice and round. So here's one. I'm going to aim for 4 of them. Now they don't have to be the same size, they can all be different sizes. This one, let's make this one a little larger, this one slightly longer, and this one right here. So it almost looks like a 4-leaf clover. Now you can choose to do 5 or just 3, it's up to you how many you want to use. And as I come in here, I'm just going to come in with my pen now. And I'm going to draw a sequence of these long shapes. So you notice they're fairly long and very thin. I tend to start on the side here. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to work on this petal right here. So I'm going to start by making one loop right here. Notice it's fairly small. This first one is fairly small. I'm not going all the way out here to where the line in pencil is touching. Because what I want to do is I want that next one to come over here and curve around it slightly. So it's curving next to it. Because I want this all to fan out in a curved way. So this is curved. I'm going to add the next one. Like so. Still curved. Next one, still curved. Notice that as they come down to that point at the center, those lines get very close to each other. So I'm going to start up here on the outside, the round part, and then that line coming down. Sometimes they start touching very early, so about right here, these lines are already merged. So I'm going to add a couple more. I'm starting on the outside, so here's the loop, and then the line heading down. Up at the top again, a loop and a line heading down. Notice down here it's getting very dark. I like that. I like it when it gets dark like that. Let me do 2 more. Here we are heading in, starting on the outside, heading in. Okay. Now at around this point, I tend to pause and start on the other side. So I'm still doing the same petal, but I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So over here, I'm going to draw a fairly small loop. So there it is. And then the next one is going to curve around it. It's very curvy. Let's add another one. Over, and it curves. So it's bent. It's not just heading straight out. It's a little bit bent. And I'm going to continue adding these, and for the most part they're all going to be just a little bent. So let me show you right here. So I start on the outside. There's a nice curve heading down into that well. So again, on the outside, a curve, bending down into that well. So I start on the outside and head down, start on the outside, head down, start on the outside, head down. Notice it's starting to get a bit tight in there. Now I'm going to start filling in the ones on the top now. There we go. And maybe just one more right here. Okay, that's good enough. So you'll see there's the first one. And let me show you the original one so you can compare. So there it is. So just like with that one, you'll notice right there, there's a smaller one, followed by these that are curved. They only start to straighten out once I get over here to the top of the shape. Okay, let's add the others. And we're going to try that one more time. Start on the outer edge with a small one. and then curve these. So there's the second one. If there are little gaps, I fill them with black. And I'm going to continue around. The line is fairly curved. It is not straight until I start getting close to the top. Okay, I'm going to pause there, do the other side. So here's a small one, and then a curved one, and the rest will stay curved. This may require a bit of practice. I know that some people have told me that they tried this and they just couldn't quite get it. So if it takes you a few tries, be patient with yourself. You'll get it eventually. These lines can be a little bit tricky. Even when I work on this and I'm not in the right state of mind, it can be a bit difficult. So I'm going to start this third one. Notice I'm starting with that small one. Curving this around. Curved, curved, curved. This is helping give this leaf a more dynamic look. So curved, curved. Notice I'm heading out here. I can head out just a little bit further beyond where I had drawn in pencil. That's fine. Those lines in pencil are only there just to help me have an idea of where I'm starting to create the shape. Okay, there's that last one. I'm going to just move forward to create some on top here so that you can see how I add the next layer. So here, I'm going to come back with my pencil. I'm going to give myself a bit of a guide. So I know that I want to start the next one in here. So right in there. So because I want to start the next one right in there, I'm just going to give myself a shape. So from the top of this one to the top of this one, I'm going to create a curve. Now I'm looking at that curve and I think for my taste, it's a bit large. So I'm going to come in and edit it. I will edit that curve just a tiny bit. Maybe only have it come to here or so. I think I like that a little better. Let me make another one over here. I'm going to make another curve about here. I think that's all right. And now I'm going to add another one up here as well. So this sort of semicircle here. We're going to use those shapes to create the next leaves. So I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to color it in black just a tiny bit. There's nothing else to fit in there. And so starting from right here, I'm going to start doing the same thing I did with the ones below. So let me show you. Start at the edge. Don't go all the way out. Just make a small shape here. Only this far. It doesn't go all the way to the edge. It just goes right here. When we add the second one on top of it, it's going to go just a bit farther and let it curve around. See? So here this one's shorter. The next one's a little longer. I'm going to fill this in with black. I'm going to do another one. It's going to be just a little longer. It's going to curve around and touch. I'll fill this in with black. So now here's where I have the pencil line. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to start changing directions. So let me make my next little shape here to here only, and I'm going to let them touch. So as I draw these curves, I will try to fit them in the best that I can because I know it's going to start getting very tight right in there, down in that vertex where all of these lines come together. So let's try the next few, and you can go ahead and watch so you can see how I add the next sequence of lines here. So here it is at the top, heading in, starting at the outside, heading in, outside, getting in. Notice those lines are coming close together. Outside, heading in, outside, heading in. It's getting very dark down there in the center. Outside, heading in, and slowly they start to straighten out. Once I get here, I'm going to switch to doing the other side. So let me start over here. So we're going to try to do the same thing again. That first one is shorter. Fill in the little spaces with black. Okay, so that one's shorter. The next one will be slightly longer and very curved. I'll fill the space in with black. Looks like I have space for one more. So here's the third one. Sometimes I may only fit two, it just depends on the space. But here we have the third one. Now I'm going to continue adding these. They are very curved. Notice it's getting very tight in there. That's okay. I'm just going to do my best to fit them in there and make sure that they stay curved. So here's another one. There it is. And the next one. So I tend to start on the outside and I head in. Start on the outside and head in. I think this is going to be the last one. Okay, so I'm good with that. So there you have it. On this next one, I'm going to do this a little bit faster, and you're welcome to just see how it comes together. So here's the edge. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to follow the edge that I drew with the pencil. I'm going to do the other side. Here's one. Then the next one's a little longer. Maybe one more right here, a little longer. And then I follow the edge. Right here. Until I get to about here. And this is going to be the last one. So there you have it. That's how I create these. They fan out very nicely. And you can create something that looks like this. I did add some shading in this particular drawing. I used some watered down ink as an experiment. You could also use a pencil or pretty much anything else that you have on hand, whatever you're comfortable with, or you can just leave it the way it is and just enjoy it. So again, like I said before, be very patient with yourself. This one can be a little bit tricky, but it is so very rewarding. I hope you give this a try.